But we don't know that. But if you thought about that, then you'd understand. You need to be working fast. Like, correct. You need to actually be working on that right now.
Yeah, so connect these dots so we can have this docuseries.
I preach to myself.
Right. I'm talking to myself. But yeah, let's get this docuseries. So we are looking forward to this docuseries from April Sands, the one and only. Thank you so much for coming on to the session. Yes. I'm so glad we got to sit down and chit-chat. I'm sure everybody... How long has it been since you were off news?
Off news? It's been a year or some change. And I remember someone tweeted, so they ain't bringing April back to the news then. I was like, oh my goodness. But yeah, no, I left. I'm happy where I am now. Yeah, still here in front of the camera, but doing other things.
Look at God.
Okay.
And look out for her.
Yeah.
She's coming to a camera near you.
Exactly.
Thank you so much. It's been amazing.
Thank you.
So look out, guys, for the session. It's going to air in April.
Look at that.
Right? No pun intended. So it'll air. And when it does, feel free to like, comment, share. Thank you, guys. Thank you, April.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Have a good one, guys. Take care. Hey, guys, you made it to the end of our video. If you'd like to reach out, email us at letschat@TanyaWilliamsLightbourne.com. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe for more exciting sessions. Cheers.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news, healthcare professionals welcoming the new mental health bill, members of the public expressing outrage with the condition of bus shelters, and residents staging a protest to have the Fishing Hole Causeway named in honor of a community activist. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you so much for joining us. Topping the news, mental illness is a major health concern in the country. The number of mental health patients is said to be on the rise. A mental health bill was tabled in Parliament earlier this month by Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darrell. Tonight, local medical officials say they hope the new legislation will alleviate some of the strain on the health sector. Simone Davis has more in this report.
Health officials reveal that mental health patients have doubled following Hurricane Dorian and the COVID-19 pandemic. They say that it is their hope that this new legislation can educate the public on mental health while providing some relief to the healthcare system.
Since Dorian, we have had increased referrals to our clinics and also admissions. And then with COVID, the referrals and admissions have increased in our adolescent population.
Clinical Director at the Grand Bahama Health Services, Dr. Daphne Adderley Sands, described the Dyer Ward facility at the Rand Memorial Hospital as a revolving door, indicating that the 10-bed ward is sometimes over capacity because patients often leave, only to return a few days later. And those patients are usually adolescents.
It's what was called back then the revolving door phenomenon. And it seems like it's occurring in Freeport in the past month or two. We've noticed that a lot of our younger patients are now adding, that weren't on substance before, are now using substance, not taking their medication, and so their readmission is just like a revolving door. You discharge them today, and then in the next few days or weeks, they're back.
The amended Health Bill 2022 was tabled in Parliament by Health and Wellness Minister, the Honorable Dr. Michael Darville, earlier this month. The extensive piece of legislation moves to establish a mental health care board, a mental health review tribunal, and states that those who abuse people struggling with mental health challenges will be faced with a penalty of $1,000, 2 years in prison, or both. While introducing the bill in Parliament, Dr. Darville noted that there are increasing levels of homelessness, mental suffering, post-traumatic stress disorders among the young and old, which is currently challenging our social safety net. Dr. Adderley Sands says the protection of mental health patients is most important.
It's to protect the patients, and it's also to protect us. But mainly it's to protect the patients and their rights and giving them some autonomy in their lives. The majority of the time, the patients don't know why they're there. Or they're saying, y'all bring me here. And so we have to reach out to the family as well to have a better idea of what led to the admission. The appropriate management is given. Patients aren't discharged unless we feel they are able to manage outside of the hospital.
Volunteer clinical consultant at the Bahamas Resilience Center, Dr. Andy Lang, says he's also seen an increase in residents utilizing programs at the Resilience Center to assist with their mental health challenges, and noting that he's most pleased with the Mental Health Tribunal.
Mental Health Tribunal is being established to address persons who might find themselves mistreating or committing offenses against these persons. So there's now some legal recourse that can be taken to address those issues.
The World Health Organization reveals that 1 in every 4 people will experience mental health illness at some point in their lives. Both doctors are encouraging residents to be alert for signs of mental illness and take advantage of local resources that can help. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Simone Davis.
Well, the condition of bus shelters in the city of Freeport under scrutiny tonight. Some are calling for immediate action to be taken in the interest of public safety. Jolanda Thompson has the story.
Please clean the bus shelters. That's the cry of residents who are involved in the public busing system. They say that the conditions are unsightly, unsanitary, and unacceptable in this COVID-19 environment. They are calling on the relevant authorities to step in.
Local government is responsible for maintaining the bus depots. Residents say something must be done to enhance the overall appearance of the structures in the Freeport area. They are calling for a paint job, structural repairs, and improved maintenance.
We would like it to be upgraded and clean, because when you come here in the morning time, you want to either sit down, you're waiting on the bus very long sometimes. So if they could keep it clean, it'd be nice. How somebody to manage it every week, like how this is right now. Like on Saturday or Sunday, they could help somebody just to come and scrub it down. And if it need a little painting and things, then change some of the wood. See, I got that look. They could change that up.
By now, I thought there should be some kind of upgrade, and the pavement, especially bracing up bus tires.
When we see little papers around the benches and things, we pick it up and throw it in the garbage, because we know, some people have a tendency of just leaving the garbage on the benches, which is not appropriate.
Bus depots it needs to be upgraded. It's in poor condition. It's number one. Number two, you have too much loafers on the bus stops. They have to do something about it. It's very poor.
Residents noting that while keeping the bus depots are good for the overall appearance, it is also important to maintain a clean environment, adding that a healthy environment depicts a safe environment.
Very important. Everybody knows that, because we don't like rats and we don't like cockroaches and stuff. And I like my area to be clean. Don't get where I live.
Well, that's where local government and the city council, all those should fall in line and go around and check these bus stops. That come under them. They should maintain them, make sure they're being maintained properly. They should always be clean. This where you live at should be clean.
It could be maintained for months. Every now and then you come around, you paint. But with people just coming and throwing garbage and marking up the area, I guess it's how you keep yourself or how you keep your house That's how you'll keep anything else.
Now, these bus depots are located in several settlements, and the question is, when will the repairs begin? The ZNS News team reached out to a representative from local government, but they declined to comment. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson.
Now, late this afternoon, we received reports that a work crew from the Freeport City Council was seen at the Mall Drive and the Pioneers Way bus shelters making repairs. A City Council vehicle was also in the area. No word yet if repairs will be made to other bus depots as well. Well, in other news, a group of residents calling for the Fishing Hole Road Bridge to be given a name. The structure that has been open now for the past 2 years was perhaps years in the making. Many lobbied for a bridge to be built at that location to ensure that safety of residents on the western road of the island. In this report, Shane Stubbs tells us that some residents have made up their minds on this issue.
Now, it was in the mid-1990s when local businessman Caleb Ouden strongly advocated for a bridge to be built across the Fishing Hole Road. In 2016, he saw that dream come to fruition. But now local supporters of the longtime advocate are saying it's time to name the bridge in his honor. Officially opened in 2020, the elevated causeway makes life easier for motorists traveling to and from West Grand Bahama, especially during adverse weather conditions. With the completion of the bridge comes the question of who should it be named after. Reflecting on Outen's radical efforts, Daniel Williams shares why Outen is a worthy candidate.
At that time, the flooding was always a problem. We feel, based on the historic advocacy of Caleb, the annals will show that it was Caleb Outen. Not only Caleb, but many supporters with him, just as we have supporters here today supporting this venture to naming the bridge after him.
While there were others who joined in the fight to have the bridge erected, relatives experienced Caleb's long-lasting push firsthand.
He's fought for all of us, even to the point where he's been arrested fighting for this bridge and for other areas here on Grand Bahama Island.
As an adult, I want to see him honored. I think it's due. And as we can see, there are other people that agree, you know? So all I want to say is it's been a long time coming.
As someone who stood in the political ring against Outen, West Grand Bahama resident and former Member of Parliament Reverend Lindy Russell agrees. He shares other factors that played a role in Outen's activism.
During that time, I was the Member of Parliament for 8 Ball Rock. He was an independent candidate. It was me, him, and Michael Pine. But no individual of that board and Caleb that paid attention to the need. Especially, I think Caleb was motivated by the fact that this young man, I remember his name right now, who got killed on the Fishing Hole Road. He was motivated by that.
During adverse weather conditions, the Fishing Hole Road was cut off from the rest of the island, as flooding made the area virtually impassable. The call for a bridge grew even louder as West Grand Bahama residents found it difficult to evacuate in the time of storm. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shane Stubbs.
Now to part 2 of our series, The Church and Independence. Tonight, a prominent pastor admits that the voice of the church is not always as loud as it should be. However, he says it is the church that brings the element of morality to the table, a crucial component of any modern society. Here is Raven Davis.
I sincerely believe that my being here is far beyond you and I. It's divinely ordered, and I give
Pastor
God
of
thanks,
First
praise,
Baptist
and honor,
Church,
glory.
Reverend Dr. Keith Russell, reflecting on the vital role of the church, and particularly members of the Baptist faith who led the Baptist War, which is said to be the largest slave rebellion in the British Caribbean, and a major driving force in the abolition of slavery.
The church certainly has been an integral part of the whole move towards independence and the throwing off of the shackles of colonialism and slavery. The church is intimately involved, particularly when you think in terms of Baptist Church and persons like Ari Cooper and Dr. Brown and those persons who were very much involved in the movement for not only independence but for majority rule.
to try to indeed make sure that Bahamians were going to have their own agency and determine their own future.
Russell says the fervent work of the church continues post-independence, though admittedly the body of Christ is sometimes reluctant to take a stand on matters of relevance. He notes, however, that a truly modern society hinges on the element of morality which the church so ably brings to the table.
The voice is not as loud, but certainly in some areas in the background, the church is playing this role. Sometimes the church will choose, I guess, issues that it wants to deal with in regards to forming and creating the modern Bahamas. And I think that through the Christian Council and other bodies, which is very much involved. The church asks the moral question. Some persons who come to the table may ask the economic question, or they may ask the social question. The church asks always the moral question. Is it right? Do we do this thing? Is it right? I mean, it may be economically feasible and even profitable for us, but is it right to do?
For most of the country's population adhering to a diverse range of Protestant denominations, a subtle indication of our religious freedom, but the notion that we are a Christian nation is a myth. That's the word from Russell, who opines that labeling the Bahamas as such erodes the essence of democracy.
Because you have persons who are Jews, who are Muslims, who are from the Baha'i faith, or individuals from different, like the Rastafarians. All these people make up the society, so Christianity can't rule loose. We never were a Christian nation, and I don't think that that's the optimum thing for us to do if we want to be a democracy. Because when you say a Christian nation, you say, okay, fine, let's be a Christian nation. Which Christian are we going to be? We're going to be the Anglican Christian, the Baptist Christian, the Catholic Christian. We're going to be the Seventh-day Adventist Christians. We're going to be the liberal Christians, the conservative Christians, the fundamentalist Christians. So even Christianity is not a monolithic religion.
The nation, having recently celebrated 49 years, now inching closer towards its Golden Jubilee, an historic event that Russell, like others, looks forward to. But how can the church work to ingrain a heightened sense of Bahamian pride and culture within the populace? The antidote is straightforward, according to Russell, who says that enforcing the business of education is the way forward.
I always find it incredible that a nation that is surrounded by water, we have 75% of our children coming out of school not knowing how to swim. So when you talk about culture and instilling culture within people, there's just simple things that are very much a part of our culture, like water surrounding us, part of our culture. We ought to be able to swim, we ought to know about the water, we ought to know about boating, we know about the oceans, that kind of stuff. These are important stuff when we talk about culture. There are other parts of our culture we ought to pay more attention to.
For the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition, I'm Raven Davis.
You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Stay with us. There's more news when we return.
Come on down to Dolly Madison and get your hurricane supplies before it's too late. Don't let supply chain issues cause you to miss out on hurricane supplies you need. Come on down. Now.
Get summer ready with the arrival of cool and comfy two-piece short sets from Esquire Men's Freeport. Order online or call 352-8816.
This August Monday, it's all about High Rock Seafest 2022. Fun starts at 11 a.m. Lots of entertainment, fun and games for the entire family. Plan to attend the High Rock Seafest.
Nowadays, tiles trend like fashion, and Grand Bahama Tiles leads the way with trendy and classic styles from North and South America, Europe, and Asia. Imagine your home with natural stone, elegant marble, sleek porcelain, earthy granite, or slate. Grand Bahama Tiles has it all. They even export to the Family Islands. Maybe it's time to update your style, get the look, and transform your space with the latest tiles trending at Grand Bahama Tiles.
Trying to learn, trying to get better.
don't look at us here, buddy being here. You know, try to learn from the coaches, learn from us.
Grand Bahama, get ready for the 7th annual Buddy Heal Camp and Clinic. Just jump July 27 to July 29, 2022 at Jack Hayward High Gymnasium. 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Guest speakers, prizes, and scholarships. There will be giveaways on Saturday, July 30th at the Rock Plaza 8 Mile Rock Shopping Center. 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Don't miss it.
This is where it happens. Those moments that impact our lives. Giving you the information that you need this hurricane season. Wherever there is news, we're there.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
And welcome back. A Grand Bahama man is making some serious accusations against police tonight. The man claims that he had a run-in with police, which he recalls was a very traumatic experience. He charges that ever since then he has been targeted and is calling for it to stop. He is speaking exclusively with our Aja Quant.
Closure is what Antonio Alton says he wants following a 2013 car chase by the Royal Bahamas Police Force, which he claims still haunts him to this day. Alton says this plea is not to bash the police, but to shed light on his situation and finally put it to rest.
Try to expose me to COVID, no mask. And they hitting me. Okay. And he hitting me. You see?
That viral video is not the first encounter Antonio Alton had with the police. Alton recalls that it was a night of fun for him and a group of friends until they noticed an unmarked vehicle following them.
The window rolled down, and we noticed someone with a mask on and a handgun out the window. And everyone in the car panicked. There's like, a gun, you know? And that's when the first shot was fired. Boy.
He says they then sped off for safety reasons and was headed to the Central Police Station. He recalls that while driving, he heard something frightening.
Machine gun. And that's when they also heard my car making sounds of the metal bending. Boom, 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 boom. So I can remember these things vividly in my head. I remember the other windows coming crashing in, and I could remember the fire from the gun on the opposite side of the road actually shooting my car while I have, like I say, 3 passengers in this vehicle.
According to Alton, the pursuit eventually came to a stop in a residential area, and a total of 8 police vehicles were behind them. Not aware of what was going on, he says they thought it was safe to pull to the side. At that point, he says they heard officers shouting, demanding that they exit the vehicle. Alton alleges that they were stumped on, transported to the police station in the unmarked vehicle that was initially chasing them, and later taken to court to be charged with allegedly attempting to knock a cyclist down at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I'm still to this day not 100% sure the real reason why this happened. And I guess that's what also causes me to have like post-traumatic stress. I became a yoga instructor. It helped me to deal with my anxiety, to deal with my stress, to deal with everything that I was been going through. And I felt like I wanted to be able to bring that back home to the Bahamas.
Alton states that the court matter eventually went away. However, the harassment from officers did not. He says he was arrested during a routine stop. He admits that the vehicle he was driving was not licensed or insured, but he contends that he was cooperative, and that's when they ran his name in the system.
They had brought me in the vehicle, handcuffed, no mask on. They have no seatbelt on. I'm at a point in my life right now where, you know, I can't live in fear no more of my life being hard or them doing something to me.
Alton says he is in contact with an attorney. However, he's willing to sit with the Royal Bahamas Police Force and come to a conclusion together.
Our ZNS News team reached out to Assistant Superintendent of Police Stephen Roll, who advises if anyone has a complaint to contact the Complaints and Corruption Unit. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Adra Quant.
All the news from the crime beat 31-year-old Antonio Johnson, a.k.a. Montana, the man wanted by police on a firearm charge, was taken into custody over the weekend and charged before the court. Johnson appearing before Magistrate Simone Brown in Court Number 4 on 1 count of possession of an unlicensed firearm and 1 count of possession of ammunition. He pled not guilty and was granted bail in the sum of $8,000 with 1 or 2 suretors. His matter is adjourned until October 5th, 2022. Also from the court tonight, a resident of Yorkshire Drive, South Bohemia, Lynette Pinder, hauled before the court and charged with harboring a criminal. She pleaded not guilty before Magistrate Charlton Smith. Pinder was granted bail in the amount of $4,000 with 1 suretor. The case has been adjourned to September 9th, 2022. And that's a look at news. Your check on sports is up next with Jay Philippe.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe and welcome to sports. We do have some updates for you, but let's hear it from our summer intern, Jalen Pinder.
With the 2021-2022 college season officially in the books, we got an opportunity to catch up with 3 of the top female junior athletes here in Grand Bahama, beginning with Abigail Sims.
Going to nationals again, I mean, not a lot of teams get to go to nationals, so even though we didn't win, I still really think that's a big accomplishment to get to nationals again. It was exciting. I mean, obviously I didn't expect it, but I was very excited when I did, receive that, so.
With her college career now complete, Central Christian College third baseman Altavia Hall shares in the success of this past season.
It was a fun experience. It was the last ride, so you left it all on the field. It was pretty exciting to do that and actually be the player to watch, so it's really good. I think I want to coach. I like to coach. I like to develop young talent, and I'm also actually coaching a little bit with Rising Stars along with my aunt, so that's something I would like to do.
Back from her freshman season at the University of the Bahamas, Zaria Rose gave a recap of her first year.
It was great, actually, meeting the players and the coaches and building a bond with them. It was a really good experience, and being away from home as well, they really became a family to me. Volleyball, my first love was any sports. I always loved volleyball, and so when I had the opportunity to play for UB, I took the chance, especially since the degree I'm taking up is architecture, and that's a very hard degree in school-wise. So when UB had that available, and then I could play volleyball too, I took the chance, and I decided to go UB.
With Hall's college career officially complete, both Sims and Rose each have their sights set on the upcoming season. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Jalen Pinder.
Sticking with sports and tennis, we have an update on Team Bahamas currently playing at the Billie Jean King Cup in the Dominican Republic. Grand Bahamian Simone Pratt teamed up in the doubles with Sydney Clark to take down El Salvador 6-0, 6-3. The Bahamas is now expected to play Bermuda and the host country Dominican Republic in Group A round robin. And that's a quick check on sports. I'm Jay Philippe. Be blessed.
This August, Monday, it's all about High Rock Seafest 2022. Fun starts at 11 a.m. Lots of entertainment, fun and games for the entire family. Plan to attend the High Rock Seafest.
Journey to a serene oasis. Relax. Rejuvenate. Renew. Welcome to Renew Day Spa. For appointments, call 352-RENU.
Third Dimension on Yellow Pine Street
introduces its new home improvement center. Step into our brand new fully stocked showroom for the latest in doors, tiles, housewares, kitchenwares, bathwares, vanities, power tools, electrical, and plumbing supplies. So stop by our showroom to view our full range of products or call the Home Advisor hotline at 602-0935 today. We are your home advisors.
Are you tired, overweight, having trouble sticking to your health and fitness goals? Well, look no further. The Fitness Connection has teamed up with Z&S to bring you Health Bites. This and every Thursday, tune in, and we'll make sure you get on track and stay on track with your health and fitness goals. Tune in.
She looking at lips and moving them hips like come here, baby. I wanna take it down now.
The King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Kelly Lightburn, you are our Facebook friend of the day, and we thank you so much for your support. We also want to say a special happy birthday going out to Carol Hewitt. That's coming in from your husband, and Apostle John Jones in New Providence. We hope you guys enjoyed your special day. And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. On behalf of the entire news team here in the North, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to stay tuned as the Bahamas Tonight continues.
Tonight, the National Report, Counseling the Grieving. Local COVID vaccination rates improve, monkeypox mitigation measures, and Team Bahamas settles in England. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC Super Fast Internet for Less. Best rate, no debate. Sign up today.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Akush Lapinder. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for tuning in. Another day on the seas for Defense Force and U.S. officials charged with the full-scale search and rescue mission following Sunday's early morning tragedy at sea. But as Deputy Commodore Captain Shondell Pinder shared, those efforts were hampered.
Search efforts overnight did not yield any findings. As we resumed early this morning, we increased our assets into the area with vessels from both Coral Harbor and the Harbor Patrol Unit. We again attempted to utilize the drones, but that effort was significantly hampered by the weather conditions experienced. And so our effort with the aerial drones, the subsurface drone, as well as our divers, weather has really become a factor. I see that there is some clearing occurring right now, and so we hope to resume efforts using all of our resources and continue our search and rescue efforts.
Captain Pinder further explains the search area could very well expand.
The updated analysis, we have variances in likelihood of where persons will probably be, and those variations change as weather conditions change. So we are constantly seeking to make sure that we are in concert with that data that's being provided by the Coast Guard, and so it modifies the day. And that is what we're doing. We're truly seeking to have those high probability areas as a priority first, and then we find out from those, ensuring that we record where we searched earlier.
Now, meantime, deportation could come soon for the migrants who actually survived Sunday's harrowing ordeal at sea. The Minister of Immigration today sharing details on their immigration status. And what's next? Here's Cleopatra Murphy.
At least 2 of those Haitian nationals who survived that deadly boat capsizing 7 miles off New Providence early Sunday morning had work permits and are in the country legally. Minister of Labor and Immigration, the Honorable Keith Bell, however, says those permits will likely be rescinded.
We are now reviewing as to what we will do in respect to that, but standard policy is that those permits would be cancelled immediately and they would face repatriation. We want to be humane about what we do and how we do things, given the tragedy, but at the same time, we have laws to enforce, and we want to ensure that we do precisely that.
While Bell is empathetic to the trauma the migrants would have faced following the ill-fated voyage that has left at least 17 dead and as many as 15 more missing, he says you cannot hold a work permit if you committed an offense. This is, as evidence suggests, the migrants were involved in an illegal smuggling exercise. As for how soon those repatriations will take place,
those persons who were involved in this incident in one way or the other, I would not move to repatriate immediately because it's an ongoing investigation. We would have to wait until the police finishes their investigation and be satisfied that we may not necessarily need these persons as witnesses, or if they very well may face other consequences.
the minister could not confirm if any of the deceased had been identified, but insisted the search and recovery effort, a bill the Bahamas government foots, would continue.
In circumstance where we're talking about loss of lives, we cannot necessarily put a cost on that. We will be out there, and I'm sure that the Minister of National Security would agree with me, as long as it takes to recover the remains if there are any more at sea. And once we get the experts, that is the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, who's leading that charge, once they're satisfied that they are beyond recovering any bodies, etc., then they will advise the Minister, who will then make a decision.
As for those migrants rescued and currently housed at the Carmichael Road Detention Center, the Minister of Immigration says grief counselors from the Haitian community visited the facility Tuesday morning to provide additional emotional support and to help officials in identifying the family of the living and those who perished.
We have a very strong relationship with the ambassador and certainly other persons, the consulars who are going into the detention center, and we hope that they would also get information that would assist us in the investigation to reach out to the other persons who were lost at sea. And so I'm optimistic that we're going to get the information, and the Haitian community is going to cooperate with us.
The cost of giving the deceased a proper burial is another matter that Bell broached.
When we talk about the loss of human lives, be it Haitians or any other nationalities, I think that the issue of cost is one which is completely secondary. And so I do not see this administration being concerned with the cost of how we deal with the remains of those individuals. But we want to make sure that we exercise the highest degree of humanity that we possibly can, given the tragedy that we have experienced.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
Now, our news team paid a visit to the detention center where some 25 building survivors are being housed. It's there that they're being processed. Again, this is a multi-agency investigation taking place. Well, repeated attempts, meantime, are also made to speak with the Haitian ambassador to the Bahamas. However, we were told he was out of office. Again, Sunday's tragedy, a grim reminder that the Bahamas is a frequent transit route for Haitians seeking to reach the United States. Dangerous voyages in unseaworthy vessels have become all too commonplace as Haitians flee their homeland for a better life abroad. Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis has joined the now deafening appeal for migrants to not take these treacherous voyages. In other news tonight, the government intends to use school premises to ensure easy access to COVID-19 vaccines for school-aged children. Minister of Health and Wellness, the Honorable Dr. Michael Darville, sharing that information before the weekly cabinet meeting, just days after 24,000 Pfizer juvenile doses arrived in country for the 5 to 11 age group. He stressed, though, that the vaccine officials intend to roll out this week are not mandatory.
We have the pediatricians, as well as our tertiary facilities involved in the administration of the vaccine. School is closed now, but a strategy is in place to be able to vaccinate our children with supervision of guardian or parent on the school campuses. And so that is being processed and worked out as we speak, but hopefully we will start vaccination as early as this week for those who are interested in receiving the vaccine.
Now, the rollout set to begin in New Providence on Thursday. Darville anticipates the Family Islands will follow next week. He previously expressed concern that COVID-19 vaccination among the 12 to 17 age group could be higher, while also calling attention to declining vaccine rates overall. He says the situation is improving.
I'm pleased at what we're seeing at the Mall Marathon. We're putting together a new site in Grand Bahama. That site, the final location, I think, has been agreed to, and very soon we will be able to start administering vaccine at that location as well. Meanwhile, all of our polyclinics, including Grand Bahama, we're administering vaccines. We intend to do it for the pediatric vaccine as well.
Well, that brings us to COVID vaccines, and based on the latest tracker, the Bahamas is up to administering 355,916 of COVID doses. As of July 23rd, nearly 160,000 people had received the first dose, while those now fully vaxxed total just about 170,000. If we were to take a look by island, close to 120,000 New Providence residents are completely vaccinated. Over in Grand Bahama, that number is 21,971. In third place, Eleuthera with 5,851. Now, as for those registered abroad, the figure there, 7,638. Those of you still hoping to get the shot, you can make an appointment online at vax.gov.bs. Well, meantime, COVID hospitalizations continue a downward track, and so are cases, albeit slowly, the first at 40. The added good news is that none of the sick is being treated on the intensive care unit. As for new infections, the July 25th dashboard points to 18, 17 on New Providence, with the location of the other pending. Active cases and recoveries, 402 and 31, respectively. While still in the throes of the COVID pandemic, countries also have to contend with monkeypox. What's comforting is that the Bahamas is in the advanced stage of its protocol should the country face a monkeypox outbreak. Further, it's negotiating to receive vaccines from the Pan American Health Organization. That update directly from Minister of Health and Wellness, the Honorable Dr. Michael Darville, whose comments come on the heels of the World Health Organization declaring the virus a global health emergency. A suspected case in a foreigner was detected here in early June, with that man flown out the country. A more recent confirmed case was imported by a local. However, Darville says there are no new suspected cases. Now, as for the vaccine, he says its rollout will be different from that administered for the COVID-19 virus.
It will be administered to those who are at high risk. And lastly, we have been working seminars with the tourism sector at our hotels. And this week or early next week, we will be dealing with immigration and customs, who are also at risk, to be able to identify cases. And so our strategy for monkeypox is very advanced and on its way. We believe that we have the capability to monitor this particular outbreak.
Now, with homosexual men being disproportionately represented among the more than 17,000 cases of the virus reported up to last Friday, some countries have prioritized the group among those at risk to receive the vaccine. New York and Washington have also followed suit, with Dr. Anthony Fauci, too, saying that population should be prioritized. Here's what Darville had to say in that regard.
The literature is clear. Yes, the homosexual population is at high risk. But with that being said, the public health issues associated with individuals who come in contact with individuals who may have been exposed or high risk, it is our responsibility to be on high alert for all cases. Monkeypox presents like many other illnesses, and so from time to time we do have doctors reporting of suspected cases. To date, we have only one confirmed case that was in the country, and we hope that we remain at this level.
Still to come, the British High Commissioner on a farewell tour, and the upper chamber passes several bills. We'll be back after the break.
This
portion of the news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
When we talk about Bahamians, we talk about a diverse people with very different dreams and goals. What we have in common, what makes us truly Bahamian in our hearts and in our souls, is our love of this beautiful country, our faith in the Almighty God, and our unshakable belief that we are each our brother's keeper. Happy anniversary of independence, Bahamas. From your family at Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
What? Check old girl, boy. You say she getting married? Oh, man, not again.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man's BTC home internet with this woman BTC mobile service in holy matrimony. So they'll pay half the price compared to the other guys.
What's wrong with you? Just let them...
Madam, do you have BTC mobile service?
I do.
Sir, do you have BTC home internet to unite with her mobile service?
I do.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile service.
So, what services do you have?
Me? I have BTC at home and on my phone.
Visit any BTC store to make the switch today.
Mealtime rules. Don't serve yourself first. Do not eat with your mouth open. Don't rest your elbows on the table. Don't make noise when eating. Does not apply when enjoying KFC buckets. When we bucket together, we are as we really are.
Now is the time to start living the life you've always dreamed of. Purchase that new car. Consolidate debt. Make your house a home, or switch your mortgage to lower your monthly payments. And BOB will be with you every step of the way to help you live your very best life. With the lowest consumer loan rates in the country, we are BOB, your bank of solutions.
The Rehabilitation of Offenders Amendment Bill and the Carbon Credits Bill clearing the Senate following Monday's debate that also saw the passage of amendments to the Evidence Act. Speaking to the first bill, Attorney General Senator the Honorable Ryan Pinder threw added support behind the decision to expunge the records of those who committed minor offenses due to violations of the COVID-19 emergency orders.
What this bill does is it includes a new Section 15 into the Rehabilitation of Offenders Act. And what this new Section 15 authorizes is, by way of order, which we have here, by way of order, that is to be debated and approved affirmatively by both houses of Parliament, we set forth criteria of what type of convictions are to be expunged and considered rehabilitated. So the bill is the operative mechanism that gives that empowerment.
The Bahamas Parks and Beaches Authority preparing to pay over $500,000 to contractors who were not compensated for their work under the former administration. And there have been repeated concerns over the outstanding funds. Well, on Monday, Public Parks and Beaches Authority Chairman Mikhail Barnaby told reporters progress is being made.
We started off with 1,400 contractors outstanding, and so we're now down to 83 verified, 147 unverified, 33 duplicates, and 2 incompletes. And so this is the completed report that we have to date in terms of the individuals that came out to verify. Well, the 147 unverified individuals have not been able to produce the documentation that is necessary. Some of those individuals, if they can produce the documentation, it may be something that we can consider and take a look at. But as it stands now, our focus is on the individuals that are verified.
Barnaby adding that those verified to receive outstanding payments should expect as much between now and August 5th.
Some of those individuals were told to work without having any legal documents into the authority. And so it's two sides to this story. We also have to protect the taxpayers' dollars as well. We cannot just pay anyone that walks in off of the street and say that they are owed by the authority. That would be very irresponsible of us. So we're ensuring that we're not just focused on one side of the coin, but we're also focused on the taxpayers' dollars as well.
In crime news this evening, we're up to 3 homicides in just 3 days. This latest one taking place after 5 p.m. in the area of West and South Streets. Police say the victim was rushed to hospital where he died. Our news team is on the scene. We'll have more for you on the incident in a later newscast. Meantime, today's slaying comes as detectives continue to grill the intended target in yesterday's homicide outside a home just south of Ficus Street off Pigeon Plum Road, Pinewood Gardens. As reported shortly after 1 p.m., an orange Nissan March with 3 male occupants pulled up to that location. 2 of the men exited the vehicle with firearms with the intent to harm another man. However, upon seeing the gunman, that man ran off. In the process, though, one of the alleged perpetrators was shot dead by his accomplice. Now, we can confirm the victim is 24-year-old father Kendrick Lewis Jr. As for the intended target, who is being electronically monitored, he and the other 2 suspects are all assisting police with their investigations. In other news this evening, the central bank confirming in a release that the Russian Federation added the Bahamas to its list of unfriendly jurisdictions that have been authorized to settle obligations in rubles. This impacts credit and other claims due from Russia to entities and individuals who are domiciled in the Bahamas. It's a move the central bank expected. However, the bank doesn't anticipate any material impact on local banks and trust companies, although they maintain the level of direct exposures to Russian entities remains below thresholds that would destabilize any affected Bahamian financial institution. Now, based on the central bank's recent survey, Russian exposures held here equated to around 1% of the system's total deposits and about the same fraction of custodial assets. Meantime, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs deems the impact of this more symbolic than real and declares that the Bahamas has committed no unfriendly acts against Russia. Outgoing British High Commissioner to the Bahamas, Her Excellency Sarah Dixon, paying a farewell courtesy call on Governor General His Excellency the Most Honorable Sir Cornelius A. Smith. High Commissioner Dixon's bids farewell to the Bahamas at the end of the month to take up another diplomatic appointment. Her replacement, Tom Hartley's, expected to assume the office in August. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Stay with us.
Tourism today. Bahamas tourism today.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, the Honorable I. Chester Cooper, joined in on the Goombay Summer Festival Fun on his home island, Exuma.
If you look around here tonight, you will see half of the crowd here are persons who come from abroad. We want to make Goombay so big, so internationally renowned that people will travel from abroad to come here for Goombay. The people here today happen to be here, but next year we hope that they have so much fun that they will come back just for this event. It's great for tourism, but it's great to promote our culture, our heritage, and for our residents and our guests, it's great fun. You get to experience the food, the music, the culture. This is exciting. Exumians loved it the first time, and as I said before, it was so nice then. We're doing it twice. This is important for the spirit of the Bahamian people, first of all. And secondly, it's important for entrepreneurship. For a long while, we've been locked down during COVID. We have reopened. Tonight, we have more than 20 vendors. The number of young and small contractors and vendors who've been touched by Goombay Summer here in Exuma is simply phenomenal. I think even though we've had Goombay everywhere else across the Bahamas, Goombay is best in Exuma. And I say so shamelessly. Exuma is the place to be. I'm looking forward to the event tonight.
To keep up with festivals happening across the islands of the Bahamas, visit bahamas.com/events. I'm Danielle Bodie, and this is Tourism Today.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance. Peace of mind.
Please. Waddle, you want any?
Yeah, man. Wait, what that is?
Oh, that's rambutan. It hairy, eh?
Miss, what you doing? Move that from me.
You scared of fruit, Waddle?
No, boy. Needles. That thing look like a bunch of them.
So I guess you ain't gonna be taking the vaccine then.
And leave hole in my arm? You ain't serious.
Waddle, stop. That's why you ain't taking the vaccine? You won't gonna feel nothing.
I ain't scared. I just don't like needles.
Waddle, it takes seconds. Then you got better protection against a deadly virus. Ooh, cassava. So what if I go with you to get the vaccine?
Go with you? I ain't sure.
Don't worry. I ain't gonna tell Lisa I had to hold your hand.
I ain't on your run. Pay the people.
What? Waddle. Well, if I paying for this, we going to the clinic now.
Vaccinate today, live tomorrow. A message by the WHO, Canada, and U.S. Aid.
Awesomely, this is a beautiful experience. I can't lie. This is my first time doing this sort of charity work, and I mean, it feels good to help out, you know? There's a can drive coming up, and other initiatives are part of the Giving a Helping Hand campaign, and I encourage anyone that's willing to lend their support in any way, shape, or form to come through and give up your time.
Buy Chef Boyardee and Libby's Vienna sausages, and you could be one of 7 lucky winners to receive cash prizes up to $1,000. Take your receipts to Pritchard's on Robinson Road and enter today.
I used to think of the bank as my personal ATM machine. If I wanted a new car, new furniture, a weekend trip to Miami, no problem. Just max out the credit card or top up my loan. I was a big baller until I realized that 75% of my salary was going to pay back all those loans. Fidelity's personal financial coaching was the best solution. Fidelity gave me a plan with a debt consolidation loan that has a built-in savings that pays 5% interest. I now only have one low monthly payment plus money in my pocket. Give Fidelity Bank a call at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit any of Fidelity's locations or visit a website at fidelitygroup.com.
Secure the ones that you love. Join up with Family Guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family. Join the family. Family Guardian. Protect the ones you love. A brand that you can trust. Family Guardian.
Shell Unleaded improves your fuel economy, giving increased miles per gallon, allowing you to do more of what you really want. Special additives used in Shell Unleaded improve your engine's efficiency. So go further with Shell Unleaded. Venture out to beaches, Junkanoo, and festivals and bring home memories that will last a lifetime. Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
Prime Minister the Honourable Philip Davis making a cameo appearance with the popular Lassie Doe Boys Rake-and-Scrape Band during the Junkanoo Summer Festival Arawak this past weekend. Davis took to the stage with the iconic group. He also took time to meet and greet festival goers, the event pulling in hundreds of visitors and locals each Saturday this month. The Junkanoo Summer Festival was relaunched the first week in July after a 2-year hiatus due to COVID-19. The celebration showcasing all things Bahamian, including native food, Bahamian craft, and music. The event also a big boost for local businesses with over 30 vendors showcasing Bahamian-made products, cultural demonstrations, and junk new museums. Well, the internet no longer a luxury, but a utility. At least that's the way the Davis administration looks at it, considering its widespread use every second of every day. Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Economic Affairs, Wade Watson, announcing the government's initiative to provide free Wi-Fi access in parks across the country starting August 1st.
The government wants to provide you with the opportunities necessary to participate in the educational as well as the economic activities available online. We want to bridge the digital divide across our archipelagic nation. We want to create a strong culture of innovation. The government is wholeheartedly committed itself to removing any hindrance citizens may be confronted with when needing to do business online.
Prime Minister Davis is expected to flip the Wi-Fi switch at 10 a.m. in his Cat Island, Rum Key, and San Salvador constituency, followed by the Deputy Prime Minister in Exuma at 11, with other parks to follow. Stakeholders will ensure patrons enjoy Wi-Fi in a very safe environment.
The government is seeking to ensure that we have park wardens to make certain that the park is safe and the environment is secure, so that the users of the park and the patrons could be in a comfortable environment. You may not be too familiar with some of the parks, but the reality is we do have some challenges from time to time, especially with all the digital equipment that we're placing on the parks. We need to make certain that these digital equipment are secure.
Well, one young entrepreneur is hoping to make waves in the local auto industry, particularly for companies that manage multiple vehicles. An Andros native and Canadian certified engineer, the CEO is hoping to modernize the field and in the process inspire a generation. Lloyd Allen has more.
Fleet management is no easy feat, even for a large corporation. And in today's environment, keeping track of oil and other servicing components on your vehicles could be a nightmare. But one local company is emerging, and it's all born from a need to improve the Bahamas from the inside out.
What we do is we don't change what they do, we just make what they do more effective and more efficient.
29-year-old CEO of Mobile Garage Technologies, Byron McCartney, says when he launched his business, his goal was simple: to transform fleet managing through his maintenance tracking solution, considered a one-stop shop.
You have to make sure that the tires are changed. You have to make sure that brakes is up to date. So the problem a lot of businesses experience is not being able to keep track of all of that because they have to do it manually.
He says MBT is a virtual fleet assistant, the first of its kind in the region.
So what we do is we integrate our software into their business.
As McCartney explains, onboarding involves basic information on the business and its vehicles. Further, reminders on servicing, repairs, and related jobs are sent as alerts, helping companies to spend less time on maintenance and more effort on their products or service. Like any trailblazer, McCartney explains the push behind his passion.
There's so many companies now that are transforming the way we do business, and I wanted to be a part of that, hence why I chose the auto industry, because over from the Bahamas became independent, we haven't had any innovation in the auto industry, and Mobile Garage Fleet Solutions software is changing that in the auto industry.
He adds inspiring young people, especially those from family islands, remains his greatest pursuit.
I've had somebody say, hey, I have a software idea that I thought about 2 years ago. Can you help me out? And I started talking now from yesterday. So there are a lot of people who just needed somebody to help. So they needed to see that somebody who looked just like them, who walked the same streets, who went to the same high school. Now they believe that they're capable of doing it as well.
McCartney says while this is not his first business, it remains one with significant potential. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
And as we head to the break, we'd like to thank all our viewers watching us live on our social media platforms. And just in case you missed the news, be sure to head there to catch up. Stay with us. There's more after the break.
What? Check old girl, boy. You say she getting married? Oh, man, not again.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man's BTC home internet with this woman BTC mobile service in holy matrimony. So they'll pay half the price compared to the other guys.
What's wrong with you? Just let them...
Madam, do you have BTC mobile service?
I do.
Sir, do you have BTC home internet to unite with her mobile service?
I do.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile service.
So, what services do you have?
Me? I got BTC at home and on my phone.
Visit any BTC store to make the switch today.
Hello, my name is Joan Evans. I am the Chief Financial Officer for Abundant Life Bible Church. One of my responsibilities is to ensure that the men and women who work in service to the ministry receive their monthly wages and that their NIB contributions are paid on time each month so that their NIB benefits are available when they need it. During the COVID-19 pandemic, when everything was shut down, the NIB Employer Self-Service Portal enabled me to make payments from anywhere. I didn't need to be in office or visit NIB, which I find physically challenging anyway. We got notice when NIB's ESS portal started, but we never registered to use it until March 2020, when COVID-19 protocols forced our hand. It was convenient and our payments were instantly credited to our NIB account. I still use it, even though I'm back in the sanctuary office. You should sign up today at ess@nib-bahamas.com.
Keisha, what you saying, girl?
Man, Tony, you scared me.
Oh, they scared.
How this pandemic treating you? You working yet?
After all this time with no vaccine, no job, I had to do something.
Oh, so that's why you finally get your vaccine.
Man, I had to do what I had to do. Now I telling everyone get your vaccine. So you been good?
Yeah, man. I get my vaccine. I working, doing my little nail thing on the side. You know.
Solid. So when we getting out though?
Sweet boy, you couldn't handle us then, and you can't handle us now.
Wow, that's how you can do me, Keisha?
All right, Mr. Big Boss Tony. Stay safe.
You too, Keisha.
Vaccinate today, live tomorrow. A message by PAHO WHO, Canada, and USAID.
We elevate, we elevate, we elevate,
I'm Corbell Pyfrom. Here we go again. We're talking more bang for your bucks. BTC's new super combo plans give you free WhatsApp and so much more.
Everybody you know has a smartphone, and if they have a smartphone, they're using WhatsApp. So, we thought, why not make WhatsApp free in our supersized combos? And that's just what we did. So now our $12, $15, $20, and $39 combo plans have WhatsApp full. But that's not all. These value and supersized combos have also received an upgrade to provide more value for money. Who doesn't like more value for money? Our $4 and $7 combos have unlimited BTC to BTC calls and texts. Unlimited. We have rollover data. And our $12, $15, $20, and $39 combos are now just unlimited. Anywhere local and international calls to the US and Canada. Unlimited. Texts and rollover data as well. So if you want to enjoy a limitless experience, purchase one of our combo plans today and take a spin. Trust me, you won't be disappointed.
So, prepaid customers, what are you waiting on? Purchase one of our super combo plans today and begin experiencing limitless value for your money. These are still the moments that move us. I'm Corbell Pyfrom. Be well and be back here. Next, BTC Connection.
Hey, it's your honorary pump attendant here to educate you on the do's and don'ts at the service station. Here's what you don't do. Do not pull up from the pump without first checking that the nozzle has been removed from your car. Because if you pop this, that's about $600,000 to $30,000 to replace. These things ain't cheap. What you want to do is make sure that the nozzle has been removed, or just wait for the universal sign, which is the double tap.
what's on your plate? The Bahamas Agricultural and Industrial Corporation is hoping it's not whole sweet potatoes. You see, the vegetable's been voluntarily recalled due to the potential infestation of the sweet potato weevil, along with other crop pathogens. Local officials say the sweet potatoes under investigation were taken from the North Andros packing house to the produce exchange, where it was sold between June 24th through July 15th. Now, at this point, BAIC's early investigation have pointed to 13 potential farms on North Andros as sweet potato suppliers to the produce exchange, and ongoing investigations to determine the actual source of the infestation. In the meantime, be on the lookout for sweet potatoes riddled with dark-colored cavities or tunnels packed with fecal material from larvae. It's also important to note that the tunneling provides an entryway for soil-borne pathogens, which, if consumed, could very well lead to humans falling ill. Now, to date, this has not been the case. As an added precaution, though, farmers are asked to follow best management practices, and restaurants, retailers, food service providers are asked not to sell or serve the affected potatoes. Well, it's time now for a check on Family Island weather, and for that we turn to Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Makishla. After a day of cloudy skies, widespread showers and thunderstorms, we are now under partly cloudy conditions with 82 degrees as our current temperature. Relative humidity 74%, southeast winds at 20 miles per hour. The barometric pressure 1,019.0 millibars. That is 30.09 inches, and the pressure is steady. Temperatures around the family violence this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 85 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Green Toll Key, and Marsh Harbor, Abaco. The Berry Islands at 86 degrees. Alistown, Bimini, 85, 87 degrees in Harbor Island. Rock Sally, Lutra, 89. Black Point, Exuma, Kemp Space on Andros, reporting 85. 86 degrees in Fresh Creek. That's Central Andros. In Otterstown, Cat Island, San Salvador, and Rumkey, 89 degrees. 88 in Georgetown, Exuma. 86 degrees in Ragged Island, Clarence Town, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, Acklands, and Magic Town in Nagwood, the Turks and Caicos Islands at 84 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Setter in the Northwestern Islands tonight right through Wednesday. Southeast winds expected 12 to 18 knots. Wave heights 3 to 6 feet with caution flags in place for the Northwestern Islands. High tide 7:30 this evening, another high tide at 7:43 tomorrow morning. In the Central and Southeastern Islands, the winds are going to be northeast to east at 15 to 20 knots. Wave heights rough at 4 to 7 feet over the ocean. Caution flags also in place for the Central and Southeastern Islands into Wednesday. Now, as we take into Thursday, in the northwestern parts of our country, the winds become easterly at 12 to 18 knots. Wave heights 3 to 6 feet. High tide on Thursday, that will take place at 8:23 in the morning, with the low tide at 2:24 in the afternoon. In the Central and Southeastern Islands on Saturday, easterly winds as well, 15 to 20 knots, wave heights 4 to 7 feet. And we will maintain that caution flag through Thursday. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Just let it ring, boy, you get swing.
That's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned. Standard weather forecast is still ahead.
You get swing. You get no thing.
Yeah, man. Boy, what that is?
Oh, that's rambutan. It hairy.
Miss, what you doing? Move that from me.
You scared of fruit waddle?
No, boy. Needles. That thing look like a bunch of them.
So I guess you ain't be taking the vaccine then.
And leave hole in my arm? You ain't serious.
Wado, stop. That's why you ain't taking the vaccine? You ain't gonna feel nothing?
I ain't scared. I just don't like needles.
Wado, it takes seconds. Then you got better protection against a deadly virus. Ooh, cassava. So what if I go with you to get the vaccine?
Go with you? I ain't sure.
Don't worry. I ain't gonna tell Lisa I told you, huh?
I ain't on your run. Pay the people.
What? Wado. Well, if I paying for this, we going to the clinic now.
Vaccinate today, live tomorrow. A message by the WHO, Canada, and USAID.
When you wanna save money on your tile supplies, who you gonna call? The Tile King. When you tile your house and you wanna look good, who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Visit the new Tile King showroom, which is internationally recognized as the finest tile showroom in the Caribbean, located in the Builders Mall on Wolf Road.
The Tile King. Who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Tiles on everything.
Spring cleaning isn't just for your home, so let's tidy up those finances. Sunshine Finance can help you sweep up your bills, declutter your budget, toss out your debt with a realistic consolidation plan, and plan ahead for that home or car you've always dreamed of. Contact us at apply@sunshinefinanceltd.com, and we'll have you walking on sunshine in no time. Sunshine Finance, we're your leader in private lending.
This is ZNS Total Sports. Welcome to your Tuesday sports. We're fresh with the Bahamas' appearance at the World Championships in Eugene, Oregon. The 242 gearing up to compete in another major international athletic competition. Members of the Bahamas' Commonwealth Games team have already made their way to Birmingham, England for the start of competition, as the event is slated to run from July 28th through August 8th. The 242 competing in disciplines such as track and field, swimming, wrestling, judo, boxing, and cycling. Chef de mission, Roy Colebrook.
Fortunately, some of our top athletes who you would have seen either was injured or for some scheduling reason may not be attend. But I believe we field a good team where the Bahamas will put on a good showing. In some disciplines, we have first-timers, and so we expect them to do their personal best, etc. And the reality is of these games, we believe that Team Bahamas will once again put on a very good showing to make the Bahamian people proud.
Now, with the team being split up across 3 different villages, Colebrook on how officials will try and properly manage the unique situation.
And some of your experienced persons like myself, what it is that we have to count on team managers to be on point as relates to the teams, because you can only be at one place at one time, and so we have to ensure. My job is to move through as it relates to each of the villages, as relates to chef meetings and the likes. But the managers will be tasked with the responsibility, along with the assistants, to ensure that all athletes take their buses on time, be the venues on time, etc., because of the distance from these different villages. And so they'll be tasked with that.
Another national team that hoped to represent the country on a big regional stage may not get the opportunity to do so. Yesterday reported the Bahamas bodybuilding national team is set to travel to the CAC Games in Barbados this Thursday, but a lack of funding for the team's travel and accommodations remained a major hurdle. We got an update from the Federation president, who said while government officials did indicate that they would provide some financial assistance to the team, Sub says it will not be enough for the full contingent of athletes and coaches.
Let them know that it is the final plea as to if they're going to assist, then they have to assist now, because we are just at the breaking point now. I tell them that it's only unfortunate, but I can't carry a national team out there, a piece of a national team. As such, I can't do it. It just ain't really make sense no more.
The Bahamas last hosted the CAC Bodybuilding Championships in 2015, and what was regarded by regional officials as one of the better installments of the event in recent memory. In tennis news, another strong performance for Team Bahamas at the 2022 Billie Jean King Cup in the Dominican Republic. After capturing her first win yesterday, Elena Mackey followed up with another straight set victory today over Asia Lee Hollis 6-1, 6-1. Also coming out strong for the Bahamas was Sydney Clark, who had a dominant performance over Shelby Medeiros 6-love and 6-2. And teaming up for doubles for the Bahamas would be player captain Simone Pratt and Sydney Clark. Once again, the duo sealed the deal, giving the Bahamas a clean sweep over Durham and Jackson from Bermuda. Ladies would win 6-love and 6-1. Again, the Bahamas is seeded number 1 in the competition, and tomorrow the team will face the host country, the Dominican Republic. NFL season fast approaching. Bahamian NFL wide receiver for the Indianapolis Colts, Mike Strawn, continuing to impress his teammates in practices with his size and skill.
A few of the guys came up to me and they told me, you know, you look like Dwight Howard. And I was like, Howard, I guess is probably the height or the face structure.
He's a big body, man. You know, he's huge, man. Just throw it up, let him go get him, and he runs really fast. So, you know, I can't wait to see the things he continues to do.
And Strawn also getting some words of wisdom from some NFL legends.
Talked to a lot of people, you know, who've been there and done that. You know, for example, Michael Irvin, he told me before I came in for camp, you know, he told me to come in and, you know, just be yourself and take every rep, take mental reps. Whenever you get a chance, go out there and make a play. That's kind of what I come out here and do.
And the Providence Volleyball Association hoping to keep its players in great shape by hosting a number of preseason tournaments before the start of their regular season. If you missed the first one, the association's first vice president says you still have time.
We're going to go for sure for the end of July, hopefully the first 2 weeks in August. If we could go longer, we will, but we're trying to get as close as to our league as possible. If we don't have the weekend tournaments, we probably have our club team will host a tournament right before the season starts. So just to keep us moving along so we don't have that big gap. It's been so long for us. We don't want that big gap that we had before, so we're trying to limit that. So whatever we can do to limit that, we'll do our best to get that out of the way.
That's been a look at sports on this Tuesday. A check on weather when we return.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
The census determines the total number of people living in a country. Our census is currently being conducted throughout the islands of the Bahamas. I plan to participate. You should too.
We want everybody on every island, regardless of your age or nationality, to be counted.
And if they ain't been to your door yet, they're gonna be there soon. I know we can get counted in this census, so don't let them miss you.
The data collected in the census is used by the government to make all kinds of important decisions for the future of our country. I'll be participating. You should too.
When the census workers were in my area, I had the option whether to do it face-to-face or on my cell phone. I participated. So should you.
The Bahamas National Statistical Institute needs nationwide participation. The census will be conducted until the end of August. Remember, when it's your turn, the count depends on you.
Awesomely, this is a beautiful experience. I can't lie. This is my first time doing this sort of charity work, and I mean, it feels good to help out, you know? There's a can drive coming up, and other initiatives are part of the Giving a Helping Hand campaign, and I encourage anyone that's willing to lend their support in any way, shape, or form to come through and give of your time.
Physical distancing isn't the same as being socially distant. I know that sometimes it can be a bit difficult not being able to engage in the in-person social activities that we did before, whether that be going to the movies or just hanging out in person. But remember that different does not mean distant. As the generation of technology, we can get creative in planning virtual parties with friends and family, play online games with friends, plan virtual family parties, start a cooking competition among cousins, or do a virtual dance party. If you do gather in person, however, remember to avoid gathering in large groups. Always ensure that you wear your mask to cover your mouth and nose. And remember, wash and sanitize your hands often.
Please. Wado, you want any?
Yeah, man. Wait, what that is?
Oh, that's rambutan. It hairy.
Miss, what you doing? Move that from me.
You scared of fruit waddle?
No, boy, needles. That thing look like a bunch of them.
So I guess you ain't gonna be taking the vaccine then.
And leave hole in my arm? You ain't serious.
Waddle, stop. That's why you ain't taking the vaccine? You won't gonna feel nothing?
I ain't scared. I just don't like needles.
Waddle, it takes seconds. Then you got better protection against a deadly virus. Ooh, cassava. So what if I go with you to get the vaccine?
Go with you? I ain't sure.
Don't worry. I ain't gonna tell Lisa I told your hand.
I ain't on your run. Pay the people.
What? Waddle. Well, if I paying for this, we going to the clinic now.
Vaccinate today, live tomorrow. A message by the WHO, Canada, and U.S. Aid.
Relay, each team member must do his or her part in the race. If one member drops the baton, it impacts all of us. Across all ages, genders, abilities, nationalities, cultures, or religion, we are all on the same team. And we all have a role to play in getting to the finish line to win the race against COVID-19. Don't drop the baton on safety. Wear your mask over your mouth and nose. Keep at least 3 feet distance from others. Do not touch your face. And wash or sanitize your hands often. Together, we will win.
Ordinary People is back with a new season. Join us on the ZNS Network.
Everybody drugs the most. Not New York's bestsellers, the hood bestseller.
I like that. Coming soon.
People are only going to say yes or no. And if they say no, keep on trying until you get a yes.
Ordinary People.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, the tropics remain extremely quiet again this evening. The Sahara dust and strong upper-level winds is really taking a toll, but don't relax on your efforts, because within the next 2.5 weeks or so, we could see an uptick in activity, and that's based on our statistical data. And our satellite picture showing most of the moisture that affected us today is now over the extreme northwest Bahamas, moving into the Florida Peninsula, so we will see some clearing over the next day or two. Our forecast for tonight, partly cloudy and warm conditions expected here in the capital. Low temperature around 79 degrees. And tomorrow, a bit breezy in the morning, otherwise mostly sunny and a bit pleasant in the afternoon. High temperature, 87 degrees. Extended weather forecast. Showers returning on Thursday, just briefly. An isolated thunderstorm or two can take place, particularly in the afternoon hours. Thereafter, things clear up again as we head into the weekend. A beautiful weekend shaping up for us weather-wise. Temperature-wise, we're going to keep you in the upper 80s. Makishla.
Thanks, Basil. That does it for the Bahamas tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. From all of us here at ZNS, thank you for watching and good night.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Welcome to Exuma. This is Mariah Harbor Key National Park. And in this edition of the Bahamas Naturally, we're talking about marine protected areas. Stay with us.
The Exumas. There's no denying the spectacular beauty of this chain of islands in our Bahamas.
It's the water. The water is just breathtaking in Exuma. People are constantly in disbelief of how beautiful and clear the water is. It's so blue, it's so clear. They ask how deep the water is, and when I tell them it's 40, 50 feet and they can see a reef on the bottom, they can't believe it, because they come from places where you can't see your hand in front of your face if you go in the water. So even compared to a lot of the other places in the Bahamas, the water and the beaches in Exuma are just unparalleled. It's so clear, it's so sandy, and it's so just fresh and clean that they just cannot believe it. They see the pictures online, they think they're doctored, they think they're filtered. When they come there here and experience it for themselves, they see that that's really, really what it looks like, and it just blows their minds.
Home is paradise, and how could we not take care of what's around us? Like, it's truly a blessing from God. From the seas to the palm trees, it's just amazing.
Even on a cloudy day, this pristine beauty has lured tourists from around the world to soak up all the goodness the islands offer. The sea remains an important part of life to the people of Exuma, for their livelihoods and for recreation. But some treasures of the sea, like conch, that used to be in abundance, are not always readily found in the same areas.
The conch population is really getting depleted around the closer part of the area of the island. But then if you go further out, you can find conch. Because in the Exumas and in the Bahamas, we have the Land and Sea Park, which is a lot of lava is still in there, and it moves with the tide. It either goes to the Atlantic side or the Great Bahama Bank. And you can find them out there, but a lot of conchs where it's close in the area, close by, a lot of people just need to learn to just leave it and let it grow. You know, let it grow to become an adult size so that they then reproduce, so the area could get more replenished.
If you take some of the older fishermen and the older community people right here in this community, we're in Baratari right now. You take some of the elder people in this community and you bring them in a forum right now with some of the younger people, and you ask them, when you were a young man, a young boy coming of age, where did you have to go for conchs, for instance?
Right there.
How much conchs could you get in a day?
Plenty.
There you go. And so now you're telling the younger generation that the stock is depleting. We cannot continue to do it this way. And I think it's important to get the community engaged, and I believe smaller community meetings it would be a really nice step, okay? Not just when we're planning to zone an area, but random meetings come down and let people know. Right, let people know what's happening with the marine